Justified Season 6, Episode 6, Alive Day. Now, you notice I'm wearing something different. I think I watched 5 episodes in a row today, and they've all been really good episodes, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning now. And I like switched into a robe and stuff, so I'm trying to keep this close for you guys. But I do not want to go to sleep right now because the way this episode ended, I honestly completely ignored the fact that it was even possible for Boyd to figure out that Ava left in the last episode. And with the way this one ended, especially with some of the other things that happened beforehand, I'm very excited for episode 7. Like, I don't know all the things that are going to take place. I have to assume some stuff is going to come to light, and Ava's probably going to be able to get out of it. I'm sure she won't, be in any real danger. But I'm incredibly excited to see because there's a really, really huge question going on now with Ava's uncle and him having tried to kill Boyd, and it didn't work. Like, Boyd didn't fall all the way down that tunnel. He was able to survive, and then he kills off the other guy because he sees like it's not rot from the boards. It was as if they were cut because they were, and then he just pushes him down. And initially, I wasn't sure what was happening. I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna try to kill Ava's uncle or if Ava's uncle's gonna kill him. And then when he was like, oh, you got a good eye and stuff, that's when I knew for sure who the bad guy actually was, because anything could have happened with the other guy. But that was kind of messed up. It was like, it's a shame. And then he tosses him down like this really long hole, and he's dead now. And of course he's gonna get out of it. And I thought that they were gonna be the ones calling Boyd to say like, yeah, he something happened and he fell down the hole that you almost fell down. And that's pretty much it. Like, he died. And we still have to wait and see how Boyd reacts to that one. And he probably won't suspect anything, although it might be a little suspicious to him, because it's going to be like, well, he saw what happened. He saw me fall through this thing, and then somehow he fell through this giant hole that's in one side that we really already cleared, because they only used it to sit the oil down anyway. So they obviously didn't need to actually work right there and move the oil somewhere else, so it was out of their way. So he might get a little bit suspicious about that, especially considering the stuff that's gonna be coming to light with Ava and with her having hid the fact that she left for at least a little bit. She kind of freaked out and was gonna take off. But I'm really excited to see how all that stuff plays out, because it's gonna be really interesting. It's a lot of stuff coming at him at once. Like, he lost one of his members. Obviously, he almost died himself, so that's still gonna be on his mind. Ava was trying to take off for some reason. Why would she try to do that? Especially after how she's seemingly, all in at this point. So there's going to be a lot of information coming his way, and I'm not 100% sure how he's going to handle it, and it'll be very interesting to see. And then the other side of this episode was also very interesting, with them trying to figure out, like, alright, we killed Calhoun by accident. What are we going to do? They end up giving the job to Choo Choo, basically, because he was the one who screwed up, and the other guy doesn't want to clean up his mess, as he put it. He was like, we're not in the service anymore. I'm tired of basically carrying his dumb ass around. And they made it seem kind of sad in the beginning. It was like, it made me a little sad, like the way Choo Choo was looking and how he was feeling and stuff. It was like, man, it kind of made me feel bad for him. And he's going through this episode, and it was kind of crappy. It was like, you knew that he was going to kind of mess things up, and the boss, when he found out, it's like, we have to take him out, because he wouldn't do it on purpose, of course, but he'll screw up. He'll tell everyone. He tells pretty much everyone everything, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And his call came at the worst time, where it's like, I was thinking maybe we don't have to kill her because she told me she won't tell. And it's just like his face when he was hearing this stuff is just like, oh my goodness, like, you're doing this at the worst time. And they go in and try to take him out, and then they still end up having a gunfight when Raylan tries to come in, and it's like, hey, they came here to kill you, and you're still gonna listen to him. It's like, it's all I got. And then we still have a gunfight. He takes out like the 2 random guys we never saw. So it's like, oh well, what a shame for those 2 other guys who were referenced like 3 episodes ago, like there are 5 guys and not just 3 guys. And then they finally show up, and it's like, boom, boom. Oh, well, they died, and now it's down to 3. and it'll probably be much shorter in the next couple of episodes because Choo Choo seemingly dies in this episode. He could easily be passed out, but his eyes were like wide open, so I'm pretty sure he's officially dead from his wounds. And then we have like the leader who was called Top in this episode, and I feel like they never say any of their names, and that's why I just can't remember. But he was shot, I believe, twice. He got hit in, like, it seemed like he was hitting the arm both times, so he was able to take off. He may or may not go back to the pizza place, which I highly doubt, because if they arrest him, they have like real clear evidence. They're like two dead bodies, one guy's gone. We have the testimony of not just one sheriff but two, and then the prostitute as well, and she really doesn't know them. It's not like they're big names within the city, so she wouldn't help them or anything like that. So he's kind of on the lam now, and that leaves one guy left plus Avery, so it's just going to be the two of them. Boyd and his people are going after them, and then Boyd, of course, has to deal with Ava's uncle and him trying to kill Boyd off and all this stuff, which could just be the family rivalry thing. Maybe he wants to get the money. He knows he's going for something huge, so he's going to take out Boyd. And then it's like, you know what, we'll do this because I know how to do it, and then we'll split the money or something like that to get a bigger cut, I guess. But there's a lot of cool stuff coming up in the next episode for sure. So I'm incredibly excited. There's not too much to really say about this episode. I just enjoyed it. It did kind of suck to see Choo Choo get killed off in this episode because I liked his character. But it's going to be interesting to see where things go from here on out, because like pretty much every season there was always that thing like, all right, I know you did this because you're the bad guy and you do villainous things, but this was, just like in every season, this was that big catalyst moment where it's like, we got you. At least two of the guys, they had Choo Choo and the other guy, it's like, we got you, and the other two nameless guys who got killed anyway, we get all you guys. We have the conversation where you're talking about, killing someone the way you were ordered to and all that. So, they have this clear cut moment where it's like, we got you. If we arrest you, you're going to prison. So it's definitely going to have a huge shift in dynamics for what Avery can do with his people, having lost basically 4 out of the 5. And he's got one who's fine, I guess, and then the other guy who's on the run, basically counted as having said, do this the way you're ordered, kill someone the way you're ordered, and then he was in the gunfight and was shot twice, so he's on the run. Avery's got one other guy left, and plus himself, who he really doesn't do much. And we also had the scene with him in the beginning where he bought the woman the ring, and he kind of thought that she was the snitch. And Wynn did bring up a really good point. Him and Michael also had a really funny moment talking about like the 5 C's, and he said size, and he went through like 3, and he's like, size doesn't start with the C. He's like, carrot way. He's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I thought that was funny. I thought it was just one of those weird things because it just sounds like a C when you say it, like size, so it just counts as one of the C's. But he did bring up a good point with Avery mentioning that he thought she was the snitch, and kind of to throw her off the idea that he probably is the snitch, because we saw it early on where she mentioned that she thought it was him, and he's saying he thinks it was her, and they seem to be the only two. There doesn't seem to be anyone else who's either important or even alive at this point that even matters as far as who could have been the snitch. Like, it seems like it only could have been him or her, and it could have been a bunch of other people here and there, but they're like the two big people, and obviously they're both still in the game, so it's one of those things where it's like, it's probably you or it's probably you. And I would think, I'd have to assume it probably is Avery. I don't think she would randomly mention, excuse me, I believe she was talking to Ava when she mentioned that, where she thought it was him. Or it could have even been Wynn. But she mentioned, like, she thought it was Avery. It was probably him, and, hey, that's it. Like, she always figured it was him. And he said the same thing to her, but obviously, if Wynn is right, it was to kind of throw her off and say, like, oh, I thought it was you. And, it wasn't like it could have been anybody else. I thought it was specifically you. And, that was just to kind of throw her off. So I don't know if that's really going to even matter by the end of the season. I mean, obviously she's robbing them. She doesn't give a crap. Like, it was really to kind of just steal his money and be rich and be on top of the game compared to everybody else. So I don't think she really cares as much, and it might come out that she does care way more than she lets on, and it was like a minor thing, but she actually does care a lot more, and that's the real reason why she kind of wants to get his money. It's not because something a bit minor or anything like that. It's because she does truly believe that it was him, and that's it. Like that's the only reason. It's just to destroy him for having destroyed her life. And there are a lot of things that really speak to that, especially the time she spent with Ava when they were at the store, and when they were in the car. She mentions how the guy used to greet her with champagne and stuff, and she was talking about how like F him and things like that. And her face, she was laughing about it and stuff, but she kind of got stone faced after that, after she said that. And it's like, that's what I used to have, and it was amazing. And now, this is what I do. I replace things with fake lookalikes because that's what my life has kind of been knocked down to. And she, kind of believes it's Avery's fault, and she wants to destroy him for that. So a lot of things coming down the pipeline for these characters, and it's just gonna get crazy and crazy, and I can't wait to see it. So, I love this episode. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, least favorite parts. And the biggest question right now is, why the heck is Ava's uncle trying to kill Boyd off? Is it for the money? Is it the family thing? I feel like those have to be the only two options. He's either trying to kill Boyd because he doesn't trust, it's, the Crowder family still has that rivalry going, which is a big thing in this series. Like, families just hate families. They, like, really do that stuff in this show. So it could be that. It could be the money. It could be not the family thing, but specifically, Ava's still involved with it, and so he wants to really protect her. He thinks that Boyd just isn't a good guy. So it's got to be one of those three things. But I'm excited to see what it is, and of course, I want to know what you guys think, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.